Hello, boys and girls at home. In this video, I will be recording your lesson for today's math. We are working in our math books. We are on page 25. In case you forget, this is what your math book looks like. All of the friends here in our classroom are opened up to page 25. And before we get started today, I just want to talk to you about some of the things we have learned so far in math, okay? So you know that we've been working on addition, yes, boys and girls? Yes, thank you for those of you that are participating. I appreciate it. So we've been learning about addition, bringing numbers together to get a bigger number. We know that the numbers we bring together are called addends. Raise your hand if you can remember what the answer or the total is called in an addition problem. So the two parts are called addends. What's the name for the whole? Camila? The sum, okay? I've also taught you this week and last, Emma, a few different ways to help you when you're adding numbers, okay? One of the ways that we learned about, Austin and Johnny, we learned about using a 10 frame. And we showed how if we put the counters on the 10 frame, that can help us bring two numbers together and count them up to get the sum. Give me a thumbs up if you liked using the 10 frame to do math. Awesome. Excellent. Another way that I taught you this week was using the cubes, where we would take two different color cubes and say, okay, I have 3 orange cubes and 2 green cubes. Together I have 5 cubes all together. So we used 10 frames to help us add, and we used cubes to help us add. Thumbs up if you liked using the cubes to help you add. Boys and girls, the cool thing about the way God made us, He made each of our brains different and unique. And so when it comes to things like reading and writing and adding and subtracting and all of the skills that we need to learn in school, all of our brains work differently. So some of you might really like using a 10 frame. And if that helps you when you are doing your addition, I encourage you to use a 10 frame. Others of you might really like using the cubes. And if those cubes really help you to learn addition, I encourage you to use cubes. I always like to say God gave us 10 counters right here. They're called fingers. If it helps you to use your fingers, by golly, do it. Because I know for me, when I'm adding, if I have 2 and 3 and I bring them together, kabammy, and I get 5, that helps me. Using my fingers helps. God gave you 10 fingers. Why not use them? Today I'm going to teach you another option or another choice that can help you add. And every year when I teach this option, some kids are like, I totally love that way. That's how I'm adding from now on. But you know what else some kids always say? I have no idea what she's talking about. This is too hard for me and I can't do it this way. And I just pulled my microphone up. So boys and girls, I'm going to teach you this method today. If it feels a little tricky, if it feels a little bit difficult, or you're like, ugh, I just don't know that I totally understand that, don't worry. It's just one possible way that you can add. But if this one feels tricky, we'll keep practicing and you'll understand it eventually. But don't feel like the world is ending and you're never going to learn how to add. Okay? So my point today in this little intro is we're going to do our best today, and if it feels tricky, that's okay. And if it feels easy, that's great. But if it feels tricky today, it's okay. All right? So if you open up your books to page 25, and I'm going to make myself smaller here. Whee! Okay. At the top of page 25, and I tore my pages out today because I'm actually going to write right on the pages. I thought that would be the easiest way today. It says here, Josh is playing a game. He has 7 marbles. I want all of you right now to circle 7 marbles. It says then he gets 3 more marbles. So I want you to circle 3 more marbles. Okay? Or maybe those aren't marbles. Maybe they're coins. But either way, how many marbles does Josh have now? I'm going to underline the question. How many marbles does Josh have now? So we're trying to figure out. He had 7. Then he got 3 more. How many does he have? So it says write the addition fact. And then it says count on to add. This method is called count on. Do you see this line right here? There's a line on this paper, and it has an arrow on each end, and it has numbers across the bottom. Thumbs up if you see that. We call that a number line. Can you all say that, number line? Yes, and we can use a number line to help us add. Now, what do you notice about the numbers on the number line? Are they just any which way? Do the numbers go 7, 5, 13, 6, 8, 1, 2? Do they just go in any order? No. What do you notice, Beckett? Okay, so it goes in order, right? It starts at 0 and it goes in order. He said he noticed that it went to 7 and then it went to 10. But let's talk about why. The numbers on this line go in order. A number line is a number that has numbers in order. Well, that's pretty easy, right? Some number lines, like this one, start at 0, and they just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on and on and on. Some number lines might start at 50, and then they would go 51, 52, 53, 54. So a number line is just a piece of all the numbers to infinity and beyond. This number line goes from 0 to 10, and those arrows on the end tell us that it could keep going. It could go 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, on into infinity, and it could go backwards into -1, -2, -3, -4, into infinity. Okay? Now, to use a number line to add, we take our two numbers, 7 and 3, and we start with our biggest number. So which one is bigger, 7 or 3? Ava June? 7. So since 7 is our biggest number, we're going to start at 7. And that's what this arrow right here that's showing, boo, boom. They're starting at 7. So everyone circle that 7. Okay, we're going to start on the biggest number. Now, what's my second number, Emily? What's the second number there? 3. So that second number is how many jumps we're going to take. We're going to become little froggies. We're going to say ribbit as we hop. Starting at 7, take your pencil and hop with me. Ribbit 1, ribbit 2, ribbit 3. Why did we jump 3 times? Victoria, why did we jump 3 times? Because there's a 3 for our second number. Now, we started at our biggest number, 7. We jumped 1, 2, 3 times. And now, we've come to our answer. Camila, what's our answer? 10. So, Josh has 10 marbles. 7 plus 3 more equals 10. Let's look at the first one in the practice page here. And let's see, hands down right now, let's see if we can count on to add, okay? So Brooklyn, looking at the first one there. We start with our biggest number. Which is bigger, 2 or 1? 2 is bigger, so we're going to start at the 2. So everybody take your pencil and jump from the 0 and all the way to 2, and then circle 2. That's where we're starting. Now, Emily, our second number is the number of jumps we're going to take. What's our second number? 1. So everybody, we're going to take 1 ribbit jump. Ready? Do it with me. Ribbit 1. That number is our answer. What is that number, Beckett? 3. So go ahead and trace that answer, 3. 2 plus 1 more equals 3. Let's try the next one. Looking at number 2, Mr. Willoughby. Which number is bigger, 3 or 2? 3. So we are going to start on the 3. So everybody take your pencil, beginning at 0, and jump to the 3. A big jump. Whee! We're starting at 3. Everybody there? The second number, Emma, is how many jumps I'm going to take. So how many jumps am I going to take, Emma? 2 jumps. Are we ready for our ribbit jumps? So we're on the 3. Here we go. Ribbit 1, ribbit 2. Blake, that's my answer. What is it? 5. So on the line, 3 plus 2 equals? Put the number 5. How many of you are like, okay, I think if she explains a few more, I'm going to get this. Okay, go ahead and turn the page. Turn the page now. Go to the top of page 26. Top of page 26. All right, Victoria, I need you to stop talking, okay? All right. Now what we're going to do is look at the number line. They've already taken that first big jump, and then they took their little ribbit jumps, and we're going to figure out our number sentence. So, Noah, their first big jump. Whee! What's our first number? 5. So everybody put a 5 for your first addend or your first part. Now we're going to count our ribbit jumps. Are you ready? Here we go, Faith. Count our ribbit jumps. Ribbit 1, ribbit 2. How many ribbit jumps did we take? 2. So our second addend or our second part, we put 2. We took 2 jumps. Now, where we land after our ribbit jumps tells us our sum or our total. So Connor, what's our total? 5 plus 6. 5 plus 2 equals 7. So everybody put 7 for your sum. Thumbs up if this is kind of making sense, but we're going to keep going, so don't worry. All right, Beckett, let's look at number 4. Our first number is our first big jump. Whee! Beckett, what's our first addend or our first part? 9. So everybody put a 9 for your first number. And now let's count our ribbit jumps. Are you ready, Amelia? Here we go. Ribbit 1. How many jumps did we ribbit? Just 1. So put a 1 for our second part or our second addend. And where we land, Brooklyn, after our ribbit jumps is our sum or our answer. So what is our answer for this one? 10. So our number sentence for number 4 is 9 plus 1 equals 10. We're going to do the problem solving, and then we will take a break, okay? All right. Michael has 4 books. Everybody circle 4 books. He buys 2 more books. Everybody circle 2 more books. And now we're going to underline our question. The question says, how many books does Michael have now? So the first part of our problem, our first part or our first addend is 4 books. So on that line, everybody put 4 books. The second addend or the second part of that word problem says he buys 2 more. So everybody where it says plus, put a 2. So he had 4 and now he has 2 more. Now, how could we count on if we were using a number line? We would start at the big number, which is 4, and then we would take how many ribbit jumps? 2. So if we were counting on by 2, we would say start at 4, and then we would say 5, 6. So 4 plus 2 equals 6. Michael has 6 books. Okay? when you count on to add, what is the number